Hey guys, what's up? I'm here with a review of a Hungarian horror drama comedy film from 2006. And this is one of those many movies that is called disturbing or just really gross or really weird. And apparently this movie is like kind of an art film, I guess. And tonight's movie is Taxidermia. Taxidermia is a film about 3 generations of men. One of them being a pervert who tries to find new ways to get off. One of them being a speed eater, and the third one being a very passionate embalmer. Now, I don't know what the third one is all about. Is he passionate for corpses? Is he just passionate for embalming in general? Is he a necrophiliac? The first two I can kind of get a sense of what they're going for just by that short description, but this one I kind of can't. But other than that, this movie is from Hungary, the European country, and apparently this film is also an allegory for life in Hungary during World War II and up till the modern day. So I assume that each generation of men and what they do in the film represents something about the country, about the country at certain times. Now, I don't know a lot about Hungary as a country. I know it exists, and I know it's European, and I don't really know that much else. And I've only seen one, I'm pretty sure I've only seen one other Hungarian film, and that was Ginger Clown 3D, which was really terrible, but this movie looks to be a bit more kind of straightforward, I guess. Not like, you know, some kind of stupid horror comedy that over-advertises itself and claims to be really awesome, when in actuality it's just really terrible. But I'm starting to drag. Without further ado, let's sit back and watch Taxidermia. So the movie starts out with a guy, well, with the title in the credits, and then this guy, who I assume is the pervert, he's attempting to taste and listen to and kiss the flame on a candle, only to then start shooting fire out of his dick suddenly, and this is only 2 minutes into the movie. And the movie's already at levels of, like, what the fuck that I expected this movie to reach. So it's a very, like, foggy day, I guess, and this guy's, like, in a public bathhouse, or he's out in the public, or out in public, or whatever, and he's, like, cleaning his dick off with water, just, like, in public, even though it's extremely foggy and you can't really see anything. But this guy kind of approaches him, like his lieutenant or whatever, and apparently this guy's a soldier, I guess, and he explains, like, what he's doing there and why he's there, and it's just really weird, and it turns out to be a foggy day outside. Okay, I don't even know what to say about this movie. The acting in this movie is pretty good, all around. Everybody turns in a pretty, you know, decent performance. The writing in the movie is also about on par with the acting. It's also pretty good. The characters are interesting and quirky and weird. You know, they're strange enough to, you know, enjoy spending like 90 minutes with. The film has a nice visual style, which the visual style is kind of made of kind of diluted colors, which, even though that has been done so many times before, you know, it's usually done by films that are like, oh, look at us, we're being artsy. You know, they try to make themselves look deep and sophisticated. But here, you know, the film is actually kind of, you know, meaningful and deep. It's kind of an art film. So the visual style really works here. The lighting in this movie is good, really good. The camera work is also really top notch. I can say this, the cinematographers really knew what they were doing when they made this. The music is eerie, and sometimes the lack of music is eerie. The sound mix is also nice as well. The humor in the film is really derived from, you know, the really gross scenes, the dialogue, some of the awkward situations, and the overall kind of surreal tone you get from the film. The effects in this movie are really good for what you get, even though they don't really come into play until, like, the last half of the movie. also the pacing in this movie is actually really good. Well, really decent at least. You know, the movie keeps you interested, it keeps you engaged, and it keeps throwing weird stuff at you to keep you entertained and engaged with the film. And honestly, I didn't think it was that boring or slow. But it's time for the big question: is this film disturbing? Well, is it? No. But is it gross, unsettling, surreal, funny, and really well made? Most definitely. And that's what really sets this one apart. On the gore meter from 1 to 10, 1 being something like Nosferatu, and 10 being something like Brain Dead. Taxidermia is probably about a 4. The goriest scene in the movie, and probably my favorite scene in the movie, comes within the last 15 minutes. And it's just a really cool, gross scene, and I don't want to spoil anything, but I just really, really like the scene, and it's where the real gore in the film is. Up until that point, there isn't much gore-wise. I mean, there's some blood here, and there's a little bit of gore here and there, but other than that, it doesn't get that bad until the last, like, 15 minutes. I really like this film. It's really, really interesting. It's got a nice visual style. It keeps you interested. It's surreal. It's weird. It's entertaining. And I'm sure if I do a bit of reading, it'll probably be a very informative film as well when it comes to the historical side of things. If I actually knew anything about Hungary as a country, which I might have to do a bit of reading now. But still, 4.5 out of 5 stars, 9 out of 10. I really, really dug this one. It's not, like Eraserhead levels of weird, nor is it, nor is it like freaking like what's that? The guy that directed Alice from '88, that movie. The guy who directed that. Like, it's not those kind of levels of weird. It's not Mulholland Drive levels of weird. I say that not having watched Mulholland Drive. It's not that super, super weird. Although, it's still pretty weird. And those of you who are not very familiar with films outside of Hollywood or films that aren't just weird, this one may be a bit too strange for some people. So anyway, guys, if you liked the video, like my channel, be sure to like this video, favorite it, whatever you want, and maybe subscribe perhaps. I would really, really appreciate that. And check the links in the description below. There are links to things like my Tumblr, Twitter, all that, Facebook. All that is in the description below.
Hey there, kids. Do you want to get cool stuff in the mail like this? Or this? Or even this? Well, then subscribe to Horror Block today. Have you ever wanted to do cool cosplays like this? Or even this? Well, now you can. Subscribe to Moonchild Cosplay on YouTube, and you can see all her tutorials on how to do cool stuff like this. Do you want to get cool horror and exploitation film t-shirts like this? Or this? Or this? Well, then go to RottenCotton.com to check out all of their premium t-shirts.